Hey guys, it's Mo, and these are some spicy stories that didn't quite get into Newsy News in the morning. And the first one is, ta-da, share screen. I am so smart. An Australian woman is denying unaliving her former husband's relatives with the poisoned mushroom lunch. I don't know that, I accidentally put deadly poisonous stuff in someone's or beef Wellington is going to work, but you try it, ma'am. I'm sure it was completely a mess. You were looking for moral, mushrooms, and you happened to get, like, I don't know, night death mushrooms. It could happen to anyone, really, it could. But it actually happened to your in-laws or your outlaws, whichever you want to call. The sketch artist is kind of mean. That was not her best side. Melbourne, Australia, a woman accused of serving her ex-husband's family poisonous mushrooms pled not guilty in an Australian court on Tuesday to 3 charges of murder and 5 charges of attempted murder. Erin Patterson uh, appeared briefly at Latrobe Valley Magistrates Court by video link from a Melbourne prison, where she has been held since her arrest in November last year. She is accused of unaliving her former parent-in-laws, Don and Gail Patterson, both 70, and Gail Patterson's sister, Heather Wilkinson, 66. Daggone, ma'am. I mean, for you just allegedly took out an entire doggone family. I I don't understand. Look, I don't pick mushrooms. I'm not a fan of mushrooms, but there is a cottage industry of finding morel mushrooms in where I live. They're supposed to be really good. Again, I am like a 5-year-old. I don't want to touch. I don't like mushrooms. Let's just. So I would be safe. Hashtag Mark safe from you know, getting mushroomed, if you will. I'd have scraped all the mushrooms off when she wasn't looking. But now I want to make a beef Wellington. Dig on it. That should not be the case. All three died in the hospital days after consuming a meal at the Pattersons' home in July. She pled not guilty to all the charges and will appear at Victoria State Supreme Court in Melbourne for the first time on May 23rd. Proceedings have been fast-tracked after Patterson dispensed with a communal hearing where the magistrate would have examined the prosecution's case to ensure there was sufficient evidence to warrant a jury trial. She has not applied to be released on bail at any of her 4 court appearances. Erin Patterson is also accused of attempted unaliving of her ex-husband Simon at that lunch and on 3 previous occasions dating back to 2021. Sir, why are you still letting her cook? Oh, hell no. I would have a taste tester. I would have chemical, like, no, sir, you don't let her do anything. You're like, ma'am, stay out of the kitchen. For the love of all that is holy. Simon Patterson did not accept an invitation to attend the lunch. She's also been charged with the attempted murder of Wilkinson's husband, Ian Wilkinson. Ian Wilkinson spent 7 weeks in the hospital following the lunch. Police say the symptoms of the 4 sickened family members were consistent with poisoning from the wild Amanita fasciitis, known as death cap mushrooms. You couldn't have just said death cap mushrooms. You had to go all Latin on me. Erin Patterson could face up to 25 years in prison for each attempted unaliving, while murder in the state of Victoria carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. So she is not having a great day. In other news, for some reason, this bloke is getting all of the attention, but not in a good way. Oh my God, why would you do that to your belly button? Holy fazolies, that is, he had a strategy. No regrets. Good night, nurse. Are you kidding me? Well, this is spicy, so I guess a man threatened with arrest for X-rated tummy tattoo. It's obscene. Yes, it is. It's obscene and hilarious, but holy cow. No shirtlessness, sir. Can you stomach this ink? The man has no regrets. God, you just became the meme. Okay. All right. About the obscene tattoo stretching down his midriff, which depicts a naked woman with her legs just akimbo. It only took 4 hours and less than $70 for Richard Hart, 60, to get his hand drawn, inked, or designed inked for his 40th birthday in South Wales, and said most people aren't fazed by the bizarre design. Quote, if I had a pound for everyone who asked to have a photo with me, I'd be a rich man, he told Southwest News Service. I, I'm not going to show you the picture, but imagine the belly button is right where her legs are. Uh, yeah. His wife is like, holy shit, you're not allowed to make decisions ever again. However, law enforcement were not amused by the X-rated tat. When Hart visited Spain, cops threatened to arrest him if he didn't cover up the ink with a shirt. Quote, I was in a bedded dorm and it was boiling hot. I took off my top and 2 police came up to me and told me to cover up or they would handcuff me, Hart, a retired bar owner, recalled. We got into a bit of an argument. I had to wear a t-shirt for the rest of the holiday. Uh, you guys, I will put a link to this article in the description and you can look at this unholy tattoo that he has. I mean, he drew it him own self, but oh my god, why? Hart was initially inspired by his tattoo artist brother, who had a nude lady tattooed on him, and he thought he could go one further. Obviously, it's a bit obscene, but it never bothers me, he said of the ink, which is now plastered on his tummy for 2 decades. Oh my gosh. Hart's partner, 66-year-old Kay Ritchie, isn't bothered by the obscene ink. Hart says both his daughter Melissa, 38, and son Alex are fine with it. However, he admitted, I do have to cover it up in front of the grandchildren. God, I hope so. Unless you're giving them the birds and the bees talk and you explain how, women dilate, because, oh my God, it's awful. It is, you just have to see it, y'all. I'm going to put the link in the description, but holy fazolies. Uh, no. This is a no for me. There is more news, I think, from the Las Vegas cannibal case. So, May 1st, the Las Vegas man who was spotted, quote unquote, eating the face of a victim he allegedly unalived told cops, I think we've already done this story. There can only be so many, stories we have. Let's go with cops handcuffed a man, 73, hit officer with forcibly thrown cheeseburger. Were the cheeseburgers most affected? A handcuffed 73-year-old man was somehow able to, quote unquote, forcibly throw a cheeseburger at a cop, leading to the suspect's arrest on a felony battery charge. Look, who among us hasn't done, a burger toss fight when you're arrested? It's a common thing that happens. The police responded Wednesday night to a Wawa convenience store in Fort Pierce, Florida. It's Florida, man. We got to do it. It's Florida. Whoa, man and man time. Let's get our Pabst Blue Ribbon out. We're figuring this out. In reference to a subject being present who had previously trespassed. Since the trespass was still active, police arrested Joseph Delancey and placed him in handcuffs. During the detainment of Joseph, he was holding half a cheeseburger, the officer reported. After being provided demands to stop said burger, he refused to do so, according to the arrest report. After the handcuffs were placed onto him, Joseph forcibly threw the burger into my right leg. Okay. I mean, I understand that it is technically battery. You're not supposed to throw things at people, but a drive-by burgering? I mean, I thought that was Uber Eats' job. Oh my. Well, he does look like he might could throw a burger. The cheeseburger struck the patrolman, leaving behind burger residue on the thigh of the lawman who survived the attack. First of all, that is 100% polyester. You are sweating your bums off. Thank you, officers. But holy God, can you get some cotton? Because that just seems horrible. The cheeseburger struck the patrolman. Delancey has been charged with trespassing, a misdemeanor, battery on a law enforcement officer, a felony, and he is locked up in lieu of $10,000 bond on the higher count. Delancey, seen at the left, has a lengthy rap sheet that includes convictions for attempted unaliving, fraud, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. He was arrested in 2022 for allegedly attempting to strike a cop with a metal pole. Sir, get some help. Look, it is never too late as long as you are breathing to, redeem yourself. In my opinion, like I said, I'm not the best person to ask, but I do think that we can all redeem ourselves if we put in the work. In other news, Nicolas Cage made a crazy son. Who'd have guessed? Nicolas Cage's son, Weston, allegedly laid hands on his mother and left her with a black eye. Son, you're going to the ranch. Going full Dr. Phil, you're going to the ranch. What is wrong with you? Nicolas Cage's eldest son, Weston Cage. I mean, he has beautiful eyes, but he seems to be a douche. Is reportedly under investigation after alleged physical altercation with his mother, Christina Fulton. Last year, Fulton and her son filed a lawsuit against his ex-wife alleging embezzlement and a smear campaign. In separate lawsuits, Weston accused his estranged wife of exploitation, while Fulton accused her of manipulation. According to TMZ, a verbal altercation between Weston and his mother, Fulton, escalated to he laid hands, allegedly. I mean, he is Nicolas Cage's son, or John Travolta's, if you believe the face-off theory. Though an ambulance was summoned, the Lucinda's Spell actress denied hospitalization. I have never heard of Lucinda's Spell. Weston reportedly departed the scene before law enforcement arrived, but he was named a suspect and investigators are deliberating whether to pursue felony charges against him or not. Sources have claimed that Fulton attempted to console Weston before the incident, though she denied any altercation and has requested privacy. Following the alleged altercation, Fulton was spotted near a parking meter with a black eye and fading bruises on her face. Look, sir, a real man protects and honors the people that he has been given a chance to protect. You use your strength, your, bigger physicality as a shield, not as a sword, and you don't turn it in on your family. That's how you, dedouchify yourself. You have beautiful eyes, dedouchify yourself. You could, have family is family. Don't turn on them. Nope. According to the Daily Mail, Weston has a history of mental health struggles, including a psychiatric hospitalization in 2011 following a violent incident in Los Angeles. At the time, Fulton, in an interview with Inside Edition, attributed Weston's mental health challenges to his father, Nicolas Cage. She said, quote, Nicolas Cage has damaged and interfered and done something absolutely horrific, and I need to just go get my son, end quote. I'm the one that raised Weston. I'm the one that took care of Weston. His dad was very busy out working as an actor, Fulton said. Last November, Weston and his mother filed a lawsuit against his ex-wife, Hilla Ariane, alleging embezzlement of $100,000, a smear campaign against them, and a fraudulent restraining order that prevented Fulton from seeing her granddaughter's twin girls, Venice and Cyprus. The law filing obtained by Page 6 read, quote, this type of character assassination is part of a disturbing pattern of behavior in which Miss Hilia levies false, malicious allegations against people as a means of coercion and manipulation. Fulton also accused Hilia of manipulating Weston to file a restraining order in 2022 or 2020, as neither she nor her ex-husband Nicholas had met their twin daughters, now 4. Fulton expressed sadness over the situation, stating, quote, "It's devastating to not see these kids. Nicholas and I haven't been able to meet our 2 beautiful little granddaughters at all since they were born. We were in quite a horrible nightmare. It's insane, painful, hurtful, and devastating." In a statement to the U.S. Sun, Fulton emphasized feeling compelled to file the lawsuit due to the hostile environment allegedly created by Ariane. Quote, "She has created a hostile narrative and the environment that makes it impossible for the family to see or have a relationship with both children privately and publicly," Fulton explained. The 56-year-old noticed that she has a beautiful relationship with her grandsons, Weston's older son, Lucian 9, and Soren 7, with his ex-wife Danielle, but despite that, she lamented the pain, hurt, and shock caused by not having a relationship with her granddaughters. Fulton also accused Hilia of emotional abuse and manipulation, leading to Weston's estrangement from his family. In the lawsuit, Weston claimed that his estranged wife exploited him during his recovery from quote-unquote mental health issues. He also alleged that she spread around malicious lies in retaliation for his filing for divorce. In an interview with Uproxx last year, Nicolas Cage expressed his intention to retire from cinema after over 45 years and 100 movies. You mean you paid off your taxes? Let's be honest here. You paid off your taxes, sir. You did a bunch of, you know, you did any movie that came along because taxes were high, and you bought a daggone, I think, a castle in Scotland for some reason. He could play older Elvis if they patted him. I say you do an Elvis film. I feel that at this point, after 45 years of doing this and over 100 movies, I feel I pretty much said what I had to say with cinema. And to leave on a high note and say adios, he shared. The Oscar winner added, "I think I have to do 3 or 4 more movies before I can get there, then hopefully switch formats and go into some other way of expressing my acting." Sir, you don't ever play a character. You play Nicolas Cage pretending to be that character. But I know it offended some people, but I mean, it was horrible, but I love Con Air. If you could just grow out the hair again, just leave the terrible Southern accent. Just leave it. Drop that, but we'll do a remake. You're older, you're wiser, you're not Southern anymore. In all honesty, I hope that these 2 people, the husband and the ex-husband and ex-wife, find a way to love their children more than they, dislike the person that they were with. That's the biggest point of anything. Love your kid more. You know, they deserve both a mom and a dad who are committed to parenting them. So if you have to swallow your pride, if you have to admit that you were wrong, it's not a tragedy. Just, say, "Hey, can we start with a clean slate? I would like to be better." You'll find that if you humble yourself just a little bit and admit you're wrong, people tend to give you grace. It's when you firmly stick your head directly in your bum hole and you suffer from cranial rectitis that people are done. They don't want to deal with you. But if you, humble yourself, admit you're wrong, and deal with things that way, the world would be a much better place. But here's a picture. I'm ending on a picture of, gosh, of Nicolas Cage and or the other guy. His name escapes me right now. John Travolta. Here's a picture of John Travolta, allegedly. I also love Face Off, so if you could remake that, that is awesome. I loved Face Off. But it was super creepy, and, some of those things sometimes And Letitia Stalk thought that you could do it for real in real life because she's dumb as a box of potatoes. But there you go. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in a little bit. Bye.